We're back, we're live. Kirby's here too. I've been really into these emulators, and I recently purchased one that I didn't plan on purchasing, but it's kind of a nostalgic one. I know. I just recently picked up this little guy right here. This is the Anbernic Rg35Xx. Rg35Xx SP. Okay, they already have an Rg35Xx. I believe it kind of looks like the Miu Mini Plus. I got this one, the gray one. Only had it for like a day, kind of just testing it out and feeling it out. So this isn't going to be a review about specs and anything intricate. Those are all over YouTube, so you can go see those if you need. This one's really just going to be about a person that likes it or not, and whatever pros and cons that I personally find. Let's kind of talk about this and exactly what it has, right? So right here on the bottom portion, you know, you got 2 TF card slots, so that's pretty cool. You can kind of just have tons of games and ROMs, and of course you could put your own ROMs on there. This is not going to come with Super Mario. I've seen a lot of people opening and unboxing them and going straight for those games. For some reason they don't put it on. I think it's licensing, but my thing is kind of, isn't this all licensing? But anyway, you could definitely easily put those on, but it's not going to come with that. So there it is, and you get the old style wired headphone jack if you need to put headphones in. I do believe their Bluetooth feature is for headphones. I'll get more into that in a bit once we get to that portion. So that's what you got on the bottom. Then on the side, you have a power button and a reset button. So that reset button is going to exit you out of any game, out of any other screen, and the power button's a power button. We are going to talk about the second function of the power button a little bit later in this video as well. Then we're going to rotate right over here, and you're going to get your right and left triggers. But obviously, because this emulates PS1 and PSP and other systems, you are going to have an L2 and an R2. So just keep that in mind, that you know, your 4 triggers there. You're also going to have a USB-C charging port and a mini HDMI. So the mini HDMI port is where everything changes for the system, right? So if you're not trying to buy older consoles, right? There's a lot of us who don't like used consoles. Basically, if you're not trying to buy those and you do want this emulator, they did kind of give it a cool feel where you kind of just HDMI it to your TV and bam, you can play your games, a Bluetooth controller as well, and like I mentioned before, possibly Bluetooth headphones. I didn't really try all that yet because unfortunately they don't give you an HDMI that comes with this, which I find really weird because you can't assume everyone owns the Mini. I have regular ones for my PS5, for my Switch, for my Xbox 360 even. So I'm not really walking around with a mini HDMI, so I definitely have to purchase that now to try that feature. So I do already find that a little annoying that they can't include it, whereas every other console includes an HDMI. And then on this side, you just kind of have the volume up and down. Pretty simple, pretty clean. I didn't really like it when I first opened it. It's, you know, in all of the videos and everything you see, it looks like it's heavy. You know, the old Game Boy SP had kind of a metal feel. This is a sturdy plastic, which is great and all. It just felt so cheap. I don't know how to explain that, but eventually I got used to it. You know, again, I've only had it for a day and I got used to it. And then I was like, okay, so you kind of have to let it grow on you. So it's not horrible, but it definitely doesn't feel like a Nintendo product. But hey, this is not just about Nintendo. It is emulating all sorts of systems. So a lot of people like to talk about that magnet feature. Here we go, I'll do it a little closer. That magnet feature, basically, it's pretty cool, you know. The closing is pretty, you know, it's not slamming against it. I do like the matte feel, so I'm pretty sure if you get scratches and wear and tear, it's not going to show as much as it did on all of our old Game Boy SPs. And on top of that, one thing I like that they're doing now is it does come with a screen protector. So you wouldn't even know that I have a screen protector on. Fits the screen perfectly. There is no the screen protector and a gap between the console. It is perfect. Here is a look at the color I got. This is the gray one. Everyone's talking about the clickiness of the buttons. They're pretty loud, I'm not gonna lie. But on here, you're gonna have the D-pad, you're gonna have your Y, X, A, and B buttons, you're gonna have this button that's labeled M, and what that's going to do is allow you to go in different menus while you're playing the game, and then you have a start, select, and the speakers. Now, the D-pad actually functions as an analog stick. I had a big problem with figuring out how to use the analog. So what I did is, they didn't have the game. I downloaded The Godfather for PSP on here, and I had to basically figure out how to use the analog stick. I was all over the settings, when in reality, here's a quick tip. All you have to do is click the power button. When you lightly click that power button, it is going to switch to an analog. This is going to cause a lot of problems though, because in that game, you take out your weapons with a D-pad, but then, you know, you need the analog portion. So I found to aim. So I found myself kind of switching between analog and D-pad. So all the reviews are true. You're not going to really get to play a lot of games smoothly on there, depending on which game it is. The other rumors are true, is if you tweak the settings as far as like something like Godfather or maybe God of War, you can run the frames a little bit better with frame skip. Otherwise, those games are going to run like trash. So let's get to the real reason why I bought this. The real reason I bought this emulator is because it emulated PSP. I still own my PSP. This is its original form. This is not, you know, I didn't mod it, I didn't do anything. The only thing I did over the years was buy another trigger cover, because that was kind of gone. But this still exists. But I don't have a lot of games for this. So I figured, ooh, this is emulating PSP. Why not do it? I'm a big GTA fan of that franchise. That is literally my favorite franchise in gaming whatsoever. I play a lot of stuff, and you'll see that on this channel once I'm more consistent, but that is my favorite franchise. So I literally have GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, not only their original forms when they came out for PS4, but the definitive edition. And I have GTA 4, GTA 5, all of the DLC content for GTA 4. It's The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. And I haven't really played GTA 5 online. I'm not a fan of it, I know, judge me. But I'm more of a story-based game playing by myself, so I've just been waiting on GTA 6. Anyway, with waiting for GTA 6, I saw that I missed out on Vice City Stories. I do have a physical copy of Liberty City Stories. This is my original copy. You know, I am gonna run through this on my PSP, but I didn't want to buy Vice City Stories physical copy for like $50 when this was basically around $56, and now I have a ton of systems I've never played before, more on the older side, and it came with Vice City Stories. So now I'll be able to play through Liberty City Stories and then Vice City Stories on that system, which is going to be amazing. I am skipping Chinatown Wars because I don't like the view of Chinatown Wars and GTA 2, that top view, not for me. But yeah, that's basically the main reason for this purchase. And I'm not really into buying used consoles, so I'm lucky I still have this PSP. But this was also a piece of nostalgia for me because when I was a teenager, I sold my original Game Boy SP to my friend with my original copy of Fire Red, and it hurts my soul every time. So I got to put this back into my collection. At least it's a replica. What I should have done was bought the silver one because that's what I had as a kid, and that's the one I sold originally, so that's sad. But this was also just kind of like added to the collection, having an SP again type thing. But my main emulator is my Miu Mini Plus, so this thing is amazing. This is where I'm currently playing Fire Red right now. I love the feel. Obviously it's a little cramped up, and on Etsy they have tons of like grips. You know, everybody knows about the Satisfy grip for Nintendo Switch. They have one literally for your Miu Mini Pluses. So yeah, this is what I'm emulating a lot more things on. Tried the Delta emulator on the iPhone. Not a big fan of it because I'm not a big fan of playing on touchscreen. I need the physical, you know, D-pad. And yeah, but the problem with these emulators, both of these, this is Miu Mini Plus, this is Rg35Xx SP from Anbernic, they don't have analog sticks. They try their best to kind of give you games that can play through, but that's a problem. And with DS, you know, you have to get certain firmware for that to play on these. So thank God I kept my DSi, and this is my original one, Ice Blue. I love this thing. It's in amazing condition. And what I have is an R4. The funny thing is these have existed for a long time. That's in 2009 when I got this, and I actually don't have a lot of physical copies of this game because back then I used an R4, except that R4 crashed. And by that time I went and just my peak of Xbox 360 was playing, so I did put Nintendo to rest for a long time, a very long time. But recently I picked that R4 up, and I'm able to play tons of Pokemon games that I haven't been able to play on DS. You know, anything just DS related that's just easier to run on an actual DS. And the plus side is you can play Game Boy Advance games on here and other stuff too. So the emulators start becoming repetitive, but it's just different feels to play. And the last thing I have too is real Game Boy Advance games. And you're kind of like, where can you play those? Right on this beauty. It's a Game Boy Macro. My brother actually built out of a regular DS, I believe white, because that allows you to play the DS games and the Game Boy Advance games. This is awesome too to carry around. I love this blue, metallic blue on it. I know a lot of people have been building one where you kind of get a lot of fingerprints on it, but this is amazing. I still have a lot of Game Boy Advance physical games, so this basically is a system to play the ones I have. Now the ones I have, can I get ROMs and play on these emulators? Sure, but nothing beats having a physical copy and not selling your physical copies. And you know, let's face it, a lot of these emulators do emulate Game Boy Color, which I still have my original Game Boy Color. I was thinking about having my brother mod it at one point, but then I was like, nah, I'll just keep it original. I actually have Tetris in there right now. But yeah, that is my original Game Boy Color. It's beautiful. And you know, that's really it. But I'm more a big fan of the Mini Plus than the Anbernic Rg35Xx SP. But I do give them the credit for trying to bring back the Game Boy SP feel. It's still good. Again, go check out some spec videos and people who get really intricate in this stuff. You can emulate Kirby, obviously, on all of these, so of course I'm happy about that. But, you know, I think this is personally good for if you don't have like another emulator, a Mini Plus, you miss your SP, and you want to play all those Pokemon games, all those Crash Bandicoot games for PS1, catching up on PSP, Dreamcast. I know it goes beyond. Definitely, all in all, I would say pick it up. It is worth it if you don't have an emulator, but if you're already carrying a Mini Plus or more products from Anbernic, I just don't know if you really need this unless you just want the SP version. I do think it's cool that you can connect it to your TV, but I'm not on the Anbernic corner of things, so I don't know if they've already had emulators that do that. If this is the first one, then definitely pick it up. Other than that, every emulator to me is a great time, and I think a great opportunity to catch up to games. I even got a GameCube emulator on my PC laptop, and I'm able to finally play Super Mario Sunshine and Double Dash and games I've never played because I didn't have a GameCube growing up. So yeah, that's about it. Now that we've got all of that out of the way, why don't we fire up some games so you could see some gameplay on there and make the decision for yourself. Etsy actually has some really cute accessories for emulators. I already saw someone selling skins for this, And I actually have a case for my Mini Mini. If you know, they don't really give you the best cases. This one actually doesn't come with a case at all, and this has that generic red and black case. I did get this from Etsy. It's cute. Someone like 3D printed it. Here, once it like loads, someone 3D printed this and like just put foam in it, so it's really cool. I really forget the name, but I hope they see this video and they could see their creation on it. I love this. It comes in tons of other colors. Just type in Miu Mini Plus cases, and you know, it goes right in there, snug, literally nice and snug, to where you kind of have to push this down to get it out. And I really like that. It just kind of locks up and it's protectant. So there is that for the Mini Mini. Again, I'm having some focus problems, but anyway, yeah, all in all, this is pretty dope. So yeah, all in all, I do think it is a great emulator to buy. I think if you are just wanting some nostalgia and you want to collect it and bring back that Game Boy SP feeling you have, if you don't already own one or don't want to buy a used one, get this. It's for a great price for the amount of things it emulates. And yeah, you'll have tons of fun. Till then, stay tuned for the next video. We are going to be gaming. I'm not going to tell you what game we're going to be playing, but we will be playing and firing up this channel again, and no more huge hiatuses. Till then, Selena loves Kirby.